What's up, everyone? We are here from E3 2016. I'm Mike Mahardy and Scott Butterworth.
Hello.
You got the chance to play a game we've known about for a long time.
A long time.
The Last Guardian.
Last Guardian. It's been, what, 8 years since we first heard the announcement?
Way too long.
Yeah, and so now not only do you get to play it, it has like an actual release date. It's a real game now. It's finally a real game.
So, initial thoughts. What do you think? How long was the demo?
Demo was actually a good 45 minutes long.
Wow.
It was a pretty significant chunk of the game.
Cool.
And it's actually it starts at the very beginning of the game, at least from what I can tell.
Right.
I mean, it's in terms of the narrative framing, it seems very much like we're at the beginning of the story. So it actually opens with the unnamed boy waking up in a cave next to Trico, and a narrator's voice comes on and says I woke up and I had no idea how I got there and I had these strange markings on my body, and it's become very apparent that it's actually like an older version of the boy narrating the experience, because he's got this deep kind of gruff voice.
Okay.
So I mean, some people I think were speculating that either the boy or Trico is going to die. Apparently the boy doesn't die because he's the one narrating the whole game.
So tonally, does it seem like the kind of game where there might be death involved?
Potentially. I mean, it has kind of this somber, whimsical tone. There's a very stirring soundtrack layered underneath everything that's happening. It's, the whole experience seems like it's built around the empathy that you're developing between Trico and the boy. I mean, it's really fascinating watching them interact. I mean, Trico is so believable. I mean, anybody that's owned a dog or a cat, you'll see these little pieces of behavior that remind you so much of a real animal. Like he'll, something will fall in front of him and he'll kind of recoil a little bit, or you'll hear him kind of whimper when you start to walk away from him. It's really believable, and it creates kind of a strong bond very quickly. And the boy is actually really interesting as well. I mean, typically when you think of a protagonist in a game, you're thinking of someone who's kind of powerful, who's going to be able to drive you through the experience. But the boy is the exact opposite. He's portrayed as vulnerable right from the very beginning. Everything about his body language is anytime he tries to lift something, he has to struggle to do it. Every time he's dangling from a ledge, he's clearly scrambling to pull himself up. Everything about the game implies that he is very vulnerable and very much is reliant on Trico to kind of keep him alive.
So what kind of other gameplay scenarios did you see? Were there a lot during the demo?
No, it's very light on mechanics, which is kind of true of anybody who played Shadow of the Colossus kind of knows that it's not so much about having this huge array of mechanics. It's sort of about how you use those mechanics.
Sure.
So most of the stuff that I played, at least in this very early portion of the game, was very light platforming, which actually works in an interesting way. There's both a jump and a grab button, and so in order to climb up ledges and stuff, you have to time it so that you jump and then grab the ledge.
And that's kind of
pull
like
yourself
Shadow of the
up.
Colossus too,
Totally,
right?
yeah, and you can of course climb Trico, as we've seen in previous trailers and stuff like that, which is necessary to reach sort of higher points in the level. So again, just kind of platforming gameplay. Also a few light puzzles, kind of have to get to a switch or find some barrels that contain food for Trico, and you use that to incentivize him and get him to come through the level with you. So it's mainly light puzzle and platforming kind of stuff. The one really interesting mechanic that I didn't expect was about halfway through the demo, I found my way into this weird little snow cavern, and I found a mirror shield. And every time you hold up the shield, a beam of light shoots out, and whatever it's touching, Trico will basically shoot lightning at.
Huh.
So I used that to destroy a few doors to progress through the level. Yeah, and so it's kind of always resting on the boy's back as he's moving through the level. But yeah, you just hold down the circle button and he aims it, and Trico will just blast stuff for you.
I thought you were going to say it's like when you're shining a laser on the wall and the cat jumps at it, but apparently Trico is like a Zeus feline.
I mean, this might be the gameplay interpretation of a cat chasing a laser pointer, which is a very good point, Mike. Good way to think about that.
Are they implying that Trico might have more powers you don't know about?
It's entirely possible. I mean, they get to the end of the demo and they kind of escape the cavern that they're in, which, by the way, is really beautiful. It's this grassy cave with stone carvings in it and what appears to be sort of a dilapidated temple. Really atmospheric, really interesting setting. You find this cavernous pool at one point you have to swim across. Oh, it's really beautiful. But at the very end, when you kind of get out of the cave and into the world itself, you hear the boy say to Trico, "Oh, you still can't fly? Your wings are broken?" Oh, that's an important thing. When you wake up, Trico doesn't trust you. Trico is wearing armor, and he's injured, and he has a spear sticking out of him, and you have to pull the spear out, and he roars at you, and he knocks the boy into a wall, and the boy's knocked unconscious. So the earliest part of the game is about developing the trust between these characters.
Mutually.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So I think you said earlier, it's still got that ambiance, you're playing a myth, I think you said.
Yeah, it feels like playing a myth, totally.
Which is very much like Shadow of the Colossus and Eco, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can really tell that it's coming from Ueda. I mean, it's totally that kind of tone. Anybody who loved Ico or Eco?
I go Eco, but
okay.
It goes either way.
Either one. Somebody in the comments will tell us we're wrong. If you've played those types of games, you will immediately connect with the tone of this game. I'm quite confident. My only real concern at this point is that it needs a little bit of technical polish. And realize polish is such a generic term, but there were things like you could see the collar that Trico was wearing was like clipping through his feathers very obviously, and other little things like awkward fall animations that really didn't seem believable, or like camera issues when I was trying to climb Trico, like the camera would get kind of lost. So that stuff isn't really major, but given that it's such an immersive game, it really kind of pulls you out of the experience a little. But fortunately, those types of issues are exactly the kind of thing that you can fix before launch. Generally, if there's like design problems, or you know, I've totally seen games early on and thought like, wow, even if this works, it's not going to be fun. This game, all of the problems that I noticed are totally solvable. So with any luck, it's going to come together and end up being exactly this, you know, beautiful, moving experience we kind of expected all along.
Yeah, ideally there won't be many bugs come release date, which is
October 26th, I want to say? End of October for sure. I believe it's the 26th.
I think that is correct. So finally, we will get to play this game, hopefully in October. Scott is way ahead of us. I'm pretty jealous. But anyway, for more news about The Last Guardian or any other thing that we see here at E3 2016, stay tuned to GameSpot. Scott, see you guys later.